Are you drawing the figure?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so once complete, please let me know. This figure you will also get in Sandbox book.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what is shown in this figure, that if this is the sea level, then this is the sea level, and this side is the ocean, and this side is the continent. So when you have a transgressive coastline, that means sea level is moving towards the continent. So you have a transgression. And when the sea level is moving towards the continent, you have this tidal flat, and the main thing that you get is the development of the estuary. Estuary can be tide dominated, can be wave dominated, and you can have a barrier bar lagoon system. Barrier bar lagoon system. So this is when you have a transgressive coastline. And when the coastline is moving towards the ocean, that means the coastline which was earlier there, this is the sea level. Now coastline has come within the ocean, and a coastline has moved towards the ocean. Then you have got the delta, which is the major environment that you are getting in this. The tidal plain and strand plain that can form both in the transgressive and the regressive system, but the major environment that you are getting in the regressive coastline, that is a delta. So what the environments that we have talked about in a shallow marine system, if I go by this diagram, we are talking about a delta, a major environment, talking about estuary, a major environment, barrier bar lagoon environment, tidal flat environment, and strand plain environment. So if I sum up that what are the shallow marine environments I am talking about, I am talking about delta, I am talking about estuary, I am talking about barrier bar lagoon, I am talking about tidal flat, and I am talking about strand plain. यही एनवायरनमेंट जो हम लोग बात कर रहे हैं, these are the only environments we are talking about, and we will discuss all these environments in detail. The delta, estuary, barrier bar lagoon, tidal flat, and strand plain. What are the processes they operate in this different environment? What are the nature of products of these processes that we get in this environment? And what are the signatures to identify the products of this environment in the rock record? All these things that we will be. So we'll start our discussion with delta. We'll start our discussion with delta. Let me erase it and then. So we have now come on to the discussion of delta. As the name, the delta, that is very apparent that it is a geometrical name. That any major environment which has the shape of the Greek word delta. Greek word delta. And based on that, the naming was done that it is the Herodotus who first named it as a delta, and it is in the form of a Greek word delta. Now you can see when you talk about a typical geometry delta, it is typical of the modern environment, that how you are getting that deposited, what is the geometry of it. Can you expect the preservation of this geometry in the rock record? Can you expect the preservation of this typical geometry in the rock record? Never. In the rock record, you cannot have this geometry. So what is more important for you? That what are the processes operating in it? What are the products of the processes rather than the geometry of the body? Rather than the geometry of the body. So, though the name of this environment that has been coined based on the geometry of the body, the major intention of our study will be not the geometry of the body, but the processes and products operative in that environment and how we recognize them. Okay? Now, what is a delta? A delta is that sand body which is supplied by a river system within the ocean. That is a delta. And as I discussed, the shoreline, it will move towards the ocean during the development of a delta, because it is the outgrowth of the sediment body from the continent into the ocean. Now, what actually, for formation of the delta, what are the major controls? What are the major controls, and on what are all deltas same or all deltas not same? If they are not same, what are the major controls that the different types of delta? Now, first, let us see that what are the major processes. The two processes, two units, a delta growth is essentially dependent on two units. One is the nature of feeder system. Nature of feeder system. What is feeder system? That is the river. It is feeding the delta. And number two, nature of accommodating basin. Nature of accommodating basin. The basin, it can be a lacustrine basin, it can be a marine basin, but basin is that which is, what is a basin? What is a basin? Can you define? How you define a basin? Anyone? Hello? Hello?
It's a kind of depression.
Yeah.
It can,
Yeah, it is a depression in the earth crust.
yes.
That much we should define it now. It is a depression in the earth crust, which is actually accommodating the sediment. How the depression can be formed and what is the mechanism of formation of depression, that we will be discussing when we will discuss tectonics and sedimentation. We are not discussing it now. But this much we know, that it is a depression in the earth crust which is actually receiving and accommodating the sediment that is supplied by a feeder system. Now, the nature of feeder system and the accommodating basin. Let us see what can be the different types of feeder system I can have. Can you see the figures fully?
सर थोड़ा कैमरा नीचे, मतलब नीचे के दो नहीं दिख रहे।
नहीं, ऊपर का ड्राइंग हो गया।
हाँ, ऊपर के 4 बना।
Now you can see.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
If it is done, please let me know.
Sir, your mic is mute.
Okay, so what I tried to show here is the 6 diagrams to show the variation in different kind of feeder system. Now, feeder system, they can vary in terms of its volume of sediment it is supplying and the caliber of sediment it is supplying. So volume and caliber both are very important. What is caliber? The type of grains that it is supplying, type of sediment it is supplying. It can be a river can supply silt and mud that can be supplied. It can supply sand. It can supply sand plus gravel, or a feeder can supply the gravelly sediment. All these, the different grain size, that is called the caliber of sediment, and the amount of sediment, volume of sediment. If both of these, that basically is responsible for the different character of the delta. Now, first start with the alluvial delta, where a single river system that is basically supplying the Gangetic delta, Nile delta, all these, they're single. Now you have a braid plain delta. That is a number of channels, the braid plain system that is supplying the delta. This is a fan delta, when a alluvial fan that is directly contributing sediment into the basin, a alluvial fan. So alluvial fan, when it is forming a delta, you call it a fan delta. A scree delta, scree cone delta, that is a scree, that is a fault plane, and a scree, and the cone that is forming by the scree, that is forming a delta, scree cone delta. You can also have a volcanic delta, that the volcanic island and it is directly the volcanic material, it is contributing and the forming a delta. Or you can have a pyroclastic delta, that is the pyroclastic material, either in the form of lahar or in the form of ash flow, or the material that is supplied as a delta. So I can have the different geometries based on the nature of the feeder system. Nature of the feeder system. Okay. Now, what will be the nature of the accommodating basin? Now, accommodating basin, it can be a shallow depth basin, and it can be a deep basin. So the accommodating basin, it can be a shallow depth basin, it can be a deep basin. Accordingly, also nature of delta, that will be vary. So first of all, I have a feeder system. The volume and the caliber of sediment the feeder system is supplying, that is important. And secondly, the nature of the basin, whether it is a shallow basin or a deep basin, that will be contributing the type of delta. Okay, so a combination of the feeder system and the basin, that basically constitute that what kind of delta I will be getting. It is clear till whatever I have discussed?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, what are the major processes that operate in a delta? There are three major, either it will be dominated by continental process or it will be dominated by the marine process. Now, when we talk about the continental process, what is the major process? That is the fluvial process. That is one of the major process that can dominate a delta. Or when we say the marine process is dominating, then what are the major process in the marine system that can dominate? Is the wave or tide. So wave, tide, and fluvial system, these three, they are the major processes which can dominate a delta, and accordingly the deltas, they are fluvial dominated delta, wave dominated delta, and tide dominated delta. They are classified. So if I see a triangular diagram, is fluvial, wave, and tide. Now,
सर थोड़ा कैमरा ऊपर कर देते हैं.
Is okay?
Yes, sir.
What I have tried to show in this figure, that there are three processes: fluvial, wave, and tide. And there are different grain size. Sometimes that silt and mud, that is dominating, the supply is silt and muddy. Sometimes it is sandy, sometimes it is sandy gravelly, and sometimes gravelly. Okay? Now, what are the normally the dominating process depending upon the, though the all three process will be operating in the all, but there will be some process I expect that they will dominate when the grain sizes are different. When you have a gravelly, sandy or sandy, normally the fluvial process that is dominating. When you have a sandy, essentially sandy, then the wave process is dominating. And when you have the sandy and silty muddy, then the tide process is dominating. So what we get, that the fluvial process, they will be most dominating when you have a gravelly and sandy gravelly sediment, that is, or at base the coarse sand, that is the fluvial. The mostly the sandy is the character of the wave dominated delta, and silty and muddy is the character of the tide dominated delta. Accordingly, what we see that the fluvial gravelly delta, they are normally smaller in size, whereas the silty muddy delta, they will be much larger in size, much larger in size. Is it done?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, so since, yes,
So the large and small, is it?
it is
Are
in
we
the
talking
terms of
about in terms
dimension.
of
It is in the in terms of dimension, the square kilometer area a delta that occupies.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Now, if you see, then what are the controls on a delta? Because we have discussed that the delta is basically controlled by the receiving, by the feeder system and the receiving basin. Okay. So a feeder system, that I said that the volume and the caliber, these two are more important in case of a feeder system. And what controls this volume and the caliber? One important is climate. That is important. Then you have tectonics. Okay. And lithology. Now, these are the feeder system controller. Then basin controller. You have subsidence, accommodation, then the wave tide. So feeder system, these are the major controllers: climate, tectonics, lithology. Then the basin system, not basin controller, basin system. There you have the subsidence, accommodation, wave tide. These are the controllers. Okay. Now, this climate, tectonics, and lithology, what it controls? It controls the type of sediment. type and volume of sediment. And the subsidence accommodation, these two, what it controls? It controls the accommodating volume. Of the basin. Basin, what amount of sediment basin can accommodate. And what is wave tide? They are the reworking agent. Wave tide cannot generate any sediment. It can only rework the sediment that the river system is supplying. So when you have the combination of all three, then you form a delta facies type development. Is this figure understandable to you? If it is not understood, then ask me question, because this is a major thing, that how the facies in a delta is controlled.
The facies in delta is controlled by all the 6 factors.
No, I could not get you. Or एक बार repeat करो.
The delta facies is formed by these, is affected by all the 6 factors.
Yeah, absolutely. All these factors that basically control that what kind of delta I will be getting and what will be the facies that I will expect in a delta.
Okay.
Basically, the feeder system that is controlled by the climate tectonics lithology, and that controls the caliber of sediment, whether it is a silty, muddy, it is a sandy, gravelly or gravelly. And the basin system, that whether it is a shallow or deep basin, that will depend upon the subsidence and the accommodation. That is the tectonics and subsidence. These two combinedly lead to the accommodation. And the nature of wave and tide energy in the basin, that will be controlling the reworking of the sediment. If there is not much reworking, if there is heavy reworking, the facies pattern will be completely different. And accordingly, a delta facies type that will be developed. Okay, so this is another important diagram. Now, deltas are, as I have already classified delta into a fluvial dominated delta, wave dominated delta, and all these things that I have also classified delta based on the silty, muddy, sandy, gravelly, and all these delta. Delta is also classified based on, as I have said, that the geometry of the delta. Suppose this one. Geometrically also, the delta is also classified. Barfoot delta, lobate delta, Cusped delta, zero, and estuary. Now, Barfoot delta is a typical characteristic of a fluvial delta. A lobate delta is more characteristic of a wave dominated delta. So is the Caspet type delta. Both are the product of wave dominated delta. When the pluvial and the marine agents, they balance each other, then the coastline will be static, what we call the zero. Now, no one is dominating over the other. Both are balancing one another, then the coastline will be static, which is a very rare case. And if the basin agency, they are dominating, then you get the estuary. So the basin agency, they are forming the basin agency. When basin agency will dominate? When there is a transgression. When there is a marine process is dominating, then the basin energy will be, and you get the generation of a estuary. So characteristically, most of the delta, they are pluvial dominated delta. Some are and on the wave dominated delta. Okay, fine. Now, depending on the volume and caliber of the sediment and the marine system, the mixing of feeder system water and the basin water, these two will be mixed, isn't it? When you have a delta formation, then the river is contributing the water and sediment into the basin. So the two waters, they will be mixing with one another. One is a river water, another is a marine water. Now, when we call the river water, it is not only water, it is the sediment and water that it will be discharging. And when we talk about the marine, that is the marine system, that the density of the marine water. So it is a relative density of the feeder system water and the basin water that will control that how the mixing will be taking place between the two waters and how the different delta geometry will be forming. There are three kinds of mixing between the feeder system and the basin system. Three kinds of. One is homopycnal mixing. Hypopycnal mixing and hyperpycnal mixing. There are three different kinds of mixing. Okay. Now, what will happen when you have a homopycnal mixing? What will happen when you have a homopycnal mixing? What is homopycnal? That means the density of the river water and the basin water, these two are same. So these two waters, they will be mixed three-dimensionally. They will be mixed three-dimensionally. And there will be no problem in the mixing of the two water because they are of almost equal density. So there will be a three-dimensional mixing between the two waters. And most of the sediment, they will be deposited very close to the margin. Very close to the margin. What you get in that case is a homopycnal mixing. You get the formation of delta in a homopycnal mixing. It is a three-dimensional mixing. And because it is a three-dimensional, the sediment it will be carrying, it will be deposited very quickly near to the margin. And that kind of deposit it will form, we call it Gilbert type delta. Gilbert type delta. which will be dominated by mass flows, debris flow, turbidite. A Gilbert type delta will have a top set, force set, and bottom set. Top set, force set, bottom set. Okay? If you don't understand, please ask me question.
सर एक बार दोबारा बता दीजिए
क्या चीज?
ये दोबारा से पर नहीं आया, कंफ्यूज हो गया.
What I am saying homopycnal mixing. Homopycnal mixing का मतलब क्या होता है? That there are two waters they are mixing. One is river water and the ocean water or basin water. Now these two, now when I talk about water, I am not only talking about water, I am talking about the water and sediment together, and I am talking about the density of the water. Now, if the two density are nearly same, that means that the river is carrying a large amount of coarse sediment, Suppose it is a alluvial fan system, it is a coarse grain bed plane system, and it is supplying a large amount of sediment, so that the river water density almost become equal to the basin density. Marine water का density क्या होता है? What is density of marine water?
1.03 gram per cc. 1.03 gram per cc.
1.03. 1.03 तो रिवर वाटर का कितना होता है? ये मेरीन सिस्टम में व्हाट इज द एवरेज सॉल्ट कंटेंट? मेरीन वाटर में एवरेज सॉल्ट कंटेंट क्या है? कितना है?
33 to 34 parts per thousand.
35,000 ppm.
So 33 to 34 parts per thousand.
पार्ट्स पर 1000 करके कुछ नहीं होता है, इधर पीपीएम होता है और परसेंटेज होता है. इधर परसेंटेज में बताओ और पीपीएम में बताओ.
तो शायद पीपीएम में है.
हाँ, शायद नहीं. ये 30 you are right, 33 to 35,000 ppm.
Okay, sir.
And the average density of the river water is 1.23 gram per cc. Whereas river water, if I consider there is no sediment in the river, no sediment, fresh water, then it will be 1.01 gram per cc. Now I have to make it same density with this. How I do that? I have to add lot of sediment within it. So the bulk density combined with water and the sediment, that becomes equal to the marine water. Is it clear? Now, if I consider that kind of situation arises, then what will happen? Because these two are of same density, there will be no restriction of mixing of the two waters. They will be mixing three-dimensionally throughout the water column, and there will be no vertical or lateral restriction in the mixing of the two water. They will be mixed three-dimensionally. And when the two water, they will be mixed three-dimensionally, what will happen to the sediment which was carried by the river water? Because it is allowed to mix very quickly and three-dimensionally, so the river is not able to carry, that water will not able to carry the sediment, and it will settle the sediment very close to the basin margin. Now, when I am getting this kind of situation, you must understand that I am adding a large amount of sediment in it. Now, it is possible when you have a steep sloping margin. when the basin margin is steep sloping. And because the basin margin is steep sloping, and that's why you are getting it is a tectonically active basin, steep margin, and that's why you are getting so much of sediment that is supplied. And very quickly the sediment is deposited very near to the basin margin. The delta, what you get in that case, we call it a Gilbert type delta, which has a top slope or top set, that is the delta plane. Then the delta slope, that is the fourth slope, delta slope, which may have a angle of 10 degree to 20 degree and dominated by debris flow and other mass flow. And you will have a bottom set.
So please, ये कैमरा नीचे करना.
Okay? Now I come on to hyperpycnal. Acha, if you have this kind of a situation, acha, baad mein karenge. Then I come on to hyperpycnal. Now what is hyperpycnal? Third one. I am now discussing the third one, hyperpycnal. That means the river water has a higher density than the marine water. Higher density. If I have a river water which has a higher density, then what will happen? Now river water will have a higher density. So what will happen? That the higher density material will sink. It will sink and it will flow along the bottom of the basin. And the mixing of the two waters, that will be on a vertical plane as a plane jet. The mixing will be in the form of a plane jet in a vertical plane. And the majority of the flow, they will be bottom hugging. What kind of product I expect in such cases? I will be getting the middle ground bar. Middle ground bar. I will explain what is that. Middle ground bar with bifurcating channel. I will draw it. Middle ground bar with bifurcating channel. Mixing कैसे हो रहा है यहाँ? Because it is a denser water that is coming, so it will be laterally restricted. The entire river water that will be entering into the basin in the form of a plane jet flow on a vertical plane. Plane jet flow on a vertical plane. And most of the flow, they will be bottom hugging. You will be getting middle ground bar. Now coming on to the hypopycnal. Now what will happen in the hypopycnal? The river water, that will be lesser density than the marine water. So they will be mostly floating on the surface. The river water will be mostly floating on the surface. And they will be mixing with the marine water in a plane jet, in a horizontal, not vertical, horizontal plane jet mixing. Plane jet mixing. That means it is of lesser density and it will be floating on the surface in a horizontal plane. So the mixing will be in a horizontal plane jet mixing. And because it is floating, so it can spread over a large area. There is no confinement. They can spread largest of the deltas that will be forming when you have this kind of a situation, because you are not confining the sediment on a particular zone, but you are allowing the sediment to spread by means of its floating and it distributing the sediment. So the largest of the deltas that will be formed, that will be held. So what you will be getting here, the product, you will getting the parallel, subaerial and subaqueous bar, distal delta front bar, pro delta plume. This will be the character. I will also draw it. दिखाएंगे ये how really the three different. Okay, so you can now understand that the three types of mixing: homopycnal, hypopycnal, and hyperpycnal. This you can understand. Hello.
Is there any grain size difference also?
No, so everything always there will be definite the grain size difference. यही तो इतना देर से मैं चिल्ला रहा हूँ. When I will have a hypopycnal, when the density is low, that means that the type of sediment it is carrying, both in terms of volume and in the size, that it is not acquiring the density of the marine water. ये सब कुछ तो homopycnal, hypopycnal, hyperpycnal ये तीनों जो condition generate कैसे हो रहा है? Because the river water that is carrying the different volume of sediment and different size of sediment. That's why. River water का density मैं कैसे बढ़ा सकता हूँ? If I increase the volume of sediment and if I increase the size of the sediment. So all three conditions, that is nothing but a function of the caliber and the volume of the sediment that the river is carrying. And accordingly, the mixing with the marine water, that will be of different type. Either it is a homopycnal mixing or hyperpycnal mixing or the hypopycnal mixing. And accordingly, I have the different geometry and the faces of the delta. Any other question? I know that there will be a problem here. Any other question if it is not clear?
So can you explain the vertical mixing in the case of hyper?
Vertical mixing is that suppose I am taking a वो जो होली के टाइम हम लोग पिचकारी लेते हैं, and then पिचकारी लेके forcefully I am pushing the water. Then how the water is? It will be like a jet. When you throw in a pichkari, if you say take that water and then you push it, then it is like a jet. You think of that kind of a situation, that you have a more denser water and it is mixing. So the more denser water, it will try to sink vertically. It will not allow to be mixed laterally, because it is more dense. It will start settling, and the more dense that is settling in a vertical plane. And that's why it is the mixing is in a vertical plane. Okay. Now, what workers have said that the mixing of the two waters, as we know, it is a homopycnal, hypopycnal, and hyperpycnal. They are guided by actually the three patterns, three major forces that is operating. Number one, outflow inertia. Outflow inertia. What is that? That is nothing but velocity. Bed friction. That the bed friction. That when it will be mixing, then there is a frictional effect. Frictional effect. And number three is outflow buoyancy. These are the three processes in a alluvial delta where the tidal range is low and wave energy is low. In what I am now what I am discussing, I am only discussing the mixing of river water and the marine water. So essentially I am discussing a alluvial delta. Because I am not taking any role of wave and tide. Is it clear?
Yes.
And I am only considering that the two different density water, they are mixing with one another. How they can mix and what are the major process. Then they say that if this is a condition, when the river process is the dominant process, that the tidal range low, wave energy low, and the process is essentially dominating by the alluvial process. Then you have the outflow inertia, bed friction, and outflow buoyancy. These are the major process. These are the three major fundamental process that is happening because of three different kind of mixing, and it's controlling the pattern of the bar formation, channel formation, and delta geometry. Let me draw. Can you see the figure?
So the above one is not visible.
Which one?
So above.
Top one. नीचे का दो drawing हो गया?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm just coming for 1 minute.
Excuse
So,
me.
so you have drawn
So what is written beside subaerial?
subaerial, subaqueous.
So done.
Now, first start with the A. What is happening? This is actually the homopycnal situation, A, where you have a coarse grain size and the maximum sediment that is depositing very close to the basin margin. And
Sir,
you are,
that part is not visible.
which part?
So the A figure.
A figure you have already drawn, na?
So you are explaining that. No? Yes,
Now,
yes, sir.
now A. So the coarse sediment, it is deposited very close to basin margin, and what I originally discussed, it is a product of the homopycnal mixing, where you have the coarse sediment that is basically deposited very close to the basin margin and forming Gilbert type delta. And what is a Gilbert type delta? Which has a delta plane, delta slope, and pro delta. Now this delta slope, it is very, very typical of a Gilbert type delta. You will not get this delta slope in any type of delta. Suppose the deltas which are formed in a hyperpycnal, in a hypopycnal, you will not get the delta slope environment to be developed. Delta slope environment is a exclusive environment when you have a Gilbert type delta formed in a homopycnal thickening, because the delta slope there you have the dominance of the mass flows, the debris flows, the turbidity currents. This you will not get in the other type of kind of delta that I will be discussing afterwards. Okay, and I also already discussed that what is, so if I take it in a 3-dimensional and a cross section of it, cross section. So cross section mein it is a top set of the delta, which may be a coarse fluvial or alluvial fan. Then you have a delta slope which is dominated by debris flow and the mass flow, and then there is a pro delta. So this is how the Gilbert type delta they are formed. So you have, this is occupied by alluvial fan or quartz fluvial. This actually is the, we call it delta plane. I am now drawing a geometry of a Gilbert type delta. Okay. This is delta slope, where you get the debris flow, mass flow, and pro delta, where you get the plume. That is the cross section of the delta. Fine. And it is either gravelly, quartz sandy and gravelly. General nature is quartz sandy and gravelly. Fine. Now coming on to B. This is when you have a hyperpycnal delta. Hyperpycnal delta. These deltas are sandy. This is mostly sandy. And what I am getting? I am not getting that the very close to the basin margin, the quartz sediment that is depositing. No, it is not that kind of. Here you are getting the development of the middle ground bar and the bifurcating channel. So the bar and the channel system. But that actually occupies the delta front environment. Here there is a beautiful development of the delta front. Instead of the delta slope, here you get the delta front. I will draw it. I will draw it after this. The delta front environment. And in this delta front environment, you will be getting the bar, middle ground bar and channel. This bar channel system, they will be occupying the delta front environment. And then you have C, where you have the hypopycnal. Instead of this ground bar, here you are getting the parallel bar. Longitudinal, it is the elongated bar. Parallel elongated bar, which has a subaerial and subaqueous part. And you get this kind of ground bar you will not get here. What you get? That you will get the small scale bar at the distal part of the delta front. Distal part of the delta front. You will get here the bar finger. The elongated sand body, that is called bar finger. And you may get some plumes in the distal part of it. Is there any, so what I discussed earlier, that homopycnal, hypopycnal, hyperpycnal, and the different products. Now in the plan view, I am showing you what are the difference between the products of the three different types in the plan view. Is there any doubt? Is there any confusion? Just clarify if you have any confusion. Ask me question and clarify, because I don't give note to my data new. So whatever you have to ask me in the class and get it clarified. Clear, na? Okay. Since there is no question, I can go ahead. Now, I will be drawing the plan view of a wave-dominated lobate delta. And I will tell you that what are the different environments that I will get there. Is it visible?
So not completely the upper portion is not it. Yes, yes, I know.
So you just draw the figure. We'll discuss it in the next class. There may not be time because we have a staff council meeting at 11:30. So there is not much time to discuss the figure, but at least you draw the figure, and if it is completed, please let me know. What type of delta? It is a plan view of a delta, isn't it? It is a plan view of a delta. This is a plan view of a lobate delta. Lobate delta, which is actually a hyperpycnal. Hyperpycnal lobate delta. The plan view of that I have drawn. Plan view. And I have shown the three different environments: delta plane, delta front, and pro delta. No delta slope. No delta slope. Delta plane, delta front, and delta pro delta. And there are different. This is a channel levy flat plane. Channel levy flat plane, that is delta plane. This is the ground bar, mouth bar, the bar finger, and the distributory channel. That is the delta front. And the final, the distal part is pro delta. We will discuss this individually, the products, what will be the nature of products, how we will identify that, all this will be discussed. Is it done? Is it done?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So let us stop here because the another meeting whistle is coming. So we will discuss this in the next class. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.